So last night, I'm sure, Roxy, you saw the Thunderbolts, and so the reviews are already in. And I'm very curious because I did my out of the theater reaction yesterday. I saw it 10:30 in the morning.
I have to assume you loved this.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what.
We'll see. When are we going to see?
Very soon, because I'm going to tell you about other people before I tell you about you and me, and I'm going to also guess that you really liked it. But we will talk about that in just a moment here.
So odd.
Yes, it is. Reviews are now in for Marvel Studios Thunderbolts. 72 reviews counted. Titles at 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, which puts it on par with the first Guardians of the Galaxy, Shang-Chi, and Spider-Man Homecoming. The site has removed its average rating scores recently, so it's not clear how much of the positive reception is simply liking it or loving it. Over on Metacritic, the film's pulling in a 70 out of 100, on par with Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain America: The Winter Soldier. The reviews all seem to indicate the film's return to form of source for Marvel, with a focus on characters and a contained story, as opposed to focusing on Easter eggs and setting up other films. Sample of the reviews here. Liz Shannon Miller is always getting love from this site up top, and I'm glad to hear it. In many ways, Thunderbolts feels like a breath of fresh air and a notable step forward for the MCU as a whole, which is pretty remarkable, given that this is a cast of characters with literal point is that they're loose ends left adrift. David Ulrich from IndieWire says that this simple and relatively spirited return to basics is definitely a step in the right direction for the MCU. That direction is still backwards. Ouch. Thunderbolts is a refreshing offering from MCU that takes plenty of big swings and occasionally misses. The movie cares more about the characters and relationships on screen than the franchise at large, and that means we do too. Let's see, Alonzo. What's Alonzo say? If The Avengers was the movie 2012 America needed, reveling in Obama-era exuberance while reeling from 9/11, the Thunderbolts fits 2025, presenting a world where everything kind of sucks and powerful people seem intent on crafting your demise. P.S. Who is Roxy Striar? That's what he says. Megan O'Keefe. Thunderbolts is far from a cinematic masterpiece, but it's a much-needed course correction for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Anybody else we know there? No, nobody else. But it seems like everybody kind of dug it. And again, a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes. I am part of that 92. I enjoyed this movie thoroughly. I thought it was a really solid. I agree with one of those breakdowns there, Rox, where it said that this movie is kind of focuses more on a contained story, characters. There's humor in it for sure, but it doesn't bombard it. It's not just about the bit. It's not just about Easter eggs. Florence Pugh's excellent lead. I thought the chemistry was really good and it worked for me, but I don't know. What about for yourself?
Yeah, I would think that this is so up your alley, Kristian, because I feel like it combines so many things that you give a crap about. I thought it was really, really powerful movie. I liked it a lot. I am pleasantly surprised with how high of a Rotten Tomatoes score it has. My theater seemed to love it though, but walking out, I was like, I bet that this hits 80. Like this, I think that is really good. But it being in the 90s, that's unbelievable for this. I'm not one of those people who's out here like, this means that Marvel is back, because I know the trajectory of what we're doing next. And we have to wait till Fantastic Four comes out, and then we need to wait until the next Avengers movie comes out for me to feel like we've strung together a few that people seem to love. But for this movie, I was just so happy with it. I thought that they did an excellent job. I love the cast. I love how different this was than any other Motley Crue movie. You know what I mean? Like
Suicide Squad movie, right?
Yeah, Suicide Squad or Guardians or any other like group gang team up, but kind of like not meant to be together type of movie.
Yeah.
This just was different. It took a big swing. It landed. I think your biggest issue with Guardians, Guardians 2, where everybody's got the jokes. This was the exact opposite of that. This one, the funny characters have jokes and the serious characters are super serious.
Yeah. And even when they do something like humorous, it's like it fits their character's narrative.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
and you're kind of laughing at them. It's not like a bunch. So that was great. I also thought that this had, honestly, I've been thinking about this last night. Maybe my favorite score of any MCU movie.
Really good score.
I was blown away, and I come to find out Sun Lux is who did Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Well, did you like you like the director too because you were a big fan of Beef?
I love this. I thought that this director absolutely crushed, and I
Yeah.
think that the combination of this director, this composer, this not being part of like the Marvel machine,
Mhm.
was really, really great to see because visually they did something different. The way it sounded was different. It was still in the Marvel world, but even the way that certain ideas physically manifest in this, just the visuals of that, I thought could have been corny and crap.
Yeah.
And after watching Captain America, where I actually liked that movie, but I thought the visuals in there were like such a bummer. There were
Yeah.
so many
Like weird
visuals where
cuts,
it was like
badly edited.
yeah,
Yeah.
just poorly things that I was like, what? With that budget? How? This felt the opposite, where it was like that could have looked really bad, but instead it looked amazing.
It looked solid and it didn't look overproduced and it didn't look like they blew a budget out where, and they didn't make it wasn't too long. It really worked. I liked that the ending, I'm gonna no spoilers, was kind of non-traditional. It's different. I like the focus on mental health throughout it and the way that they played it and the way that they really made it work with the characters themselves. I thought Lewis Pullman was a standout for
He
sure.
is. I think he is going to be an Oscar winner one day.
I think so too. So that's my next one. I'm interviewing him tomorrow.
You're making a joke again?
No, this one's for real. This one's for real. I'm interviewing him tomorrow. Would you like to join me?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Stitch Fix. I know shopping's hard. I know it is. I found a much better way to do it, though. Stitch Fix, online personal styling, and makes it so easy. I'm not a shopping person. Doesn't matter. Even if I can figure out my size, stores never seem to really have what I need in stock. Then I'm not a crowds person. I'm not a lines person. I don't have the time for it. Stitch Fix, it gets you a stylist who understands your style, understands the size, gets the budget. They do all the shopping for you. So I just give my stylist the one that I have right now. I give them the size, I give them the style, I give the budget preferences. I order boxes when I want, how I want, no subscription required. And he just sends me for pieces, pluses, outfit recommendations, styling tips. It's awesome. I keep what works and then I send back the rest. It's very easy. There's no stores, there's no crowds, there's no stress. Just personalized looks that you're going to love. Stitch Fix makes it all so easy. And it looks like you know what you're doing, too. If you're walking around, you go, hey, look at you. You're in style. I said, I know, right? And then I give Stitch Fix some props. Anyway, make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/KHS. One more time, stitchfix.com/KHS. Are you available tomorrow, my time, 2 p.m.?
Maybe.
Okay, so maybe you can do this with me.
He is like made me feel like holy crap. He is a star, and I've seen him in TV shows before, and I saw him at in Bad Times at El Royale, or is that the name of that movie? Good Time, Bad Time.
Was he in that? He was in that, wasn't he?
Yes. I've seen him in a lot of things, but nothing like this where I felt like after this he's just going to be an absolute household name. Like this
It's his biggest role. It's his biggest role that he stands out the most, and for sure. And he knew, and what I said in my review and in the reaction, he knew the assignment of what this character was. He
Clearly.
knew, yeah. And
I think that in another person's hands, this could have been a really cheesy,
corny,
uncomfortable, yeah,
easily.
So great. But I also think Florence Pugh, Kristian, holy crap.
She's absolutely 100% a movie star. There's no doubt about it. And she's really good in this role. But what I said in my review, what I said in my theater reaction, I hope Kevin Feige does not do the same thing he did for Multiverse of Madness when people ask him, is there anything else we need to see before we see this? And he goes, no. You can see this on a standalone. You have to see the Black Widow movie to really to lock into this movie and understand her backstory.
I think you also need to watch the Captain America
Soldier.
Yeah. The two of them are the ones that you really need to know their backstories for.
Yeah, because John Walker for sure. Even the debut. This is the best that we've seen of Valentina, the character.
It's the most we've seen for sure.
But even what we've seen, it just seemed like she was. I love her, but it seemed like it was Julie Louis-Dreyfus every time she was on, it was just like her, doing bits. Now it's like, oh no, and I love that you get more from her character and a little bit more of like what makes her tick, right? I don't know if I loved the assistant, but I think that was my only gripe.
Oh, I liked her.
Okay.
I know her from a show. What
Yeah,
show is
she
it?
was in something. She was
And
in
maybe
some. She was in a
she was in
movie with
some
Will
movie, like a
Ferrell recently.
oh.
Where played his daughter. She's having fun. Um,
I
but
like her. I wonder what their plan is. Yeah,
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like that was a setup situation, but I don't know exactly for what.
Right, and I
Uh,
think what they also did was that by how they play Bucky into this thing, is a good way for people to go, "Oh, this," for casual fans to go, "Oh, it's connected through Winter Soldier," and it's recognizable. I think that there are things connected from the overall universe that doesn't beat you over the head. It's not very Easter eggy, but it's like there are things that are mentioned and other things that are seen that you're like, oh, that's great how they incorporated that. But it's really you go for, and which is great. You go for the performances, you go for the directing, you go for the music, you go for the emotional attachment, which is there's I don't I'll say there were parts of this movie that remind me of Inception a little bit.
hmm.
And I
Yeah,
don't want
I
you
mean,
know what I'm saying?
obviously, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Right.
That's interesting. Yeah, I really
No,
like
I'm not putting it on
Inception,
the
so
quality of Inception. I'm not putting it on the quality of Inception. I'm just saying there's parts of the story that remind me of Inception.
yeah, yeah, and I think a lot of people have been talking about how this has to do with depression and trauma and mental health, and I don't think it does that in any kind of preachy or like, "Here's what you need to
Yeah.
do to solve this way." I just think it's gonna be very relatable to a lot of different people,
Mhm.
and myself included, yourself included, Christian. Uh, I don't wanna include you in that, but I just know
Sure.
you, so I just yeah, all around really, really excited for this and hopefully the direction that this moves forward in. I'd be excited to see a sequel to this with
Well,
more working together of whoever is still there. I don't want to give anything away,
yeah,
but
it's hard to say because there's also and how they're gonna be incorporated kind of moving forward. Um, what I will tell people is definitely stick around as always for Marvel for the 2 post credits. Probably the second post credit scene is probably the best post credit scene that we've gotten to for Marvel in general recently because it'll tell
I
you. Yeah, go ahead.
I agree. But people walking into the theater, I heard a group of people being like, "I hated that post credit," and
Oh, the second one?
I couldn't help it. I was like, "The second one," and they're like, "Oh, awful," and I was like,
Is it Bibiani?
no, but that's hysterical. It was
Yeah,
people I didn't know, that I've never seen, but,
I
like, not young people, older people that, have clearly been doing this. I was
yeah,
confused.
I don't agree with those people
Yeah,
either.
me neither.
Yeah,
Keep
at all.
going. Sorry, I cut you
No.
off.
No, it's okay. The second one is it's very important to what's going on. The first one is whatever, but the second one is very important to what's going on and moving forward, and I like the way they handled it. Speaking of best things in a while, I would say that this is the best Marvel movie, since this is the best Marvel movie since Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's the best Marvel Cinematic Universe storytelling, when I'll explain that in a second, since No Way Home, because I always say that Guardians of the Galaxy is a great standalone Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie. It doesn't necessarily push forward where the MCU is going, right? The third one, it just doesn't. It ends the trilogy and essentially ends kind of what the Guardians were doing from the first 3 phases and tells their story and ends the trilogy. And it does it in an excellent fashion, but it doesn't push forward the MCU. No Way Home pushed forward the MCU with the multiverse and everything too. This, to me, is the best one to do that since No Way Home.
I hear you. Just as movies, I prefer
Yes,
Guardians 3 and No Way Home
I do too.
to this,
I do too.
but I'm saying that because I hear a lot of people saying this is the best, Marvel movie since Endgame,
Wow.
which that I think is a fair I if somebody said that to me, I wouldn't be like, "No way." It's just not my favorite since Endgame, but I understand that.
Yeah, I like the scale of this movie, right? It's almost like a small, big movie. You know what I mean? It's like it feels like it could like I understand why they've been promoting it in the independent kind of A24 vibe. It's not that obviously, but the body it is like a small film in the body of a big film. And I like that about it. And I like it because like I said with the ending, there's going to be some people that are disappointed with the ending because it's not a traditional Marvel ending. I thought it fit. The person I saw it with like really enjoyed the movie. Um and then said, "But I didn't know if I loved that ending." And I said, "Yeah, I actually really loved the ending because I thought it was on par with what the movie was."
Hmm. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I thought it was true to the movie.
yeah,
Uh, Yeah. So I also heard people online saying that they felt like Bucky was not utilized well in this movie.
I think
Um,
very focused.
I think that we're used to seeing a lot of Bucky, and Bucky's the biggest of the Avengers to be in this movie.
Right.
I understand why people would think maybe he
It's
would
not
take
his
more
movie.
of a front seat, but this
Yeah.
is not his movie, so don't go in thinking this is a
Right.
Bucky movie. But he does have maybe one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. It's an action sequence that I thought was so cool.
Oh, I mean, there's a few really good action scenes, and there's again, like I said, there's some smaller stuff that works, and it feels, and I understand now because the director said that there was kind of like a diehard element to what he was trying to do, and after seeing the movie, I understand. I understand certain parts of it for sure, but I think people are really going to enjoy this, and it's funny. I keep getting yesterday, and I don't know if it's the same person, but that tweeted me and was also in the live chat once. I'm wants to bet $1,000 and I'm down to do it. They think that Thunderbolts will make more money than Fantastic Four. I am willing to bet definitely anything. I hope this movie does very well. I hope it does better than Fantastic Four. There's no world it does better than Fantastic Four. There's no world.
I don't say there's no world, but I'm with you that I would not make that bet.
Yeah.
I definitely think that this is going to perform worse than Fantastic Four just by the notoriety of the characters and what that means. But I understand what they're saying because the word of mouth around this is good right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are really nervous that Fantastic Four might be a stinker. That
Yeah.
seems to be the vibe in the air, which
It's still going to have. It's going to
I'm
have.
with you. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's going to have July numbers, and I don't think I'm looking at the thing right now. Here's the difference, and this is, you got to look at it tactically, right? Thunderbolts has next week, May 9th. So if they can do kind of what Sinners did with a smaller drop off and good word of mouth, which again, at 92%, they have a very good possibility of having a very good second week. And then Final Destination comes out May 16th. Different audience, so they still have a chance to make a little bit of money, but then it stops because you got Lilo and Stitch, same team.
Wait, didn't we
And
just get an invite for something else? Isn't there a
Mission
big
Impossible.
action? Yeah.
Mission Impossible is on the same weekend.
Okay.
So you've got Lilo and Mission, and then Karate Kids after that, and then Ballerina after that, and then How to Train Your Dragon after that. 28 years. It's boom, boom, boom. It's gonna go down and down and down and down. Now in July, Superman obviously is July 11th. July 25th is Fantastic Four. After that, Fantastic Four has no competition in that realm. The Naked Gun is an outside shot to take a little bit because I think that movie's going to do very well, but it's got nothing to knock into it. It's got Naked Gun. It's got Freakier Friday, Nobody 2, Caught Stealing, which is something that people want to see, but it's not enough to take it out. September 5th is The Conjuring, which again, different audience, but I'll still do well. But it's the last huge movie of the summer. And it's the last Marvel movie of the summer. There's no world. I'm telling you, there's no world this movie will make. And you can use it.
I don't
And people
really
will.
that take of yours, Kristian. I think 98% of people would agree with you.
I think people will and should use this footage if Thunderbolts winds up making a huge amount and Fantastic Four bombs. You should use this footage. I'll use this footage to go, oops, boy, was I wrong. But
Yeah.
I just can't imagine being wrong on this for sure. Anyway, yeah. What about the people that you were with? Did they dig it too?
John really liked this. I heard people talking afterwards. Wendy Lee Zaney really liked this. Jabby really liked this. I'm trying to think of who else I heard kind of talking about it. It was, I don't know if this is how it was in New York, Kristian, but when we walked out of the theater, people were congregating, which doesn't happen a lot anymore. People weren't leaving. Everybody wanted to stand and discuss it. And not only does that not happen a lot anymore, it certainly doesn't happen with superhero movies anymore. People just like sprint out of there, but everybody wanted to talk about it. So I thought that was a pretty good sign.
That is a good sign. I went earlier in the morning, and I also don't pay attention to people when I'm out of there because I'm taking my thing and I'm doing the out of the theater reaction. So that's kind of what I did, and that's why. And I got lucky. I think I did tell the story yesterday, but there was one I thought that the screening almost happened. Remember what happened to me in the Saturday Night Live movie? When I went to the wrong theater.
Yeah.
So I thought I could have sworn that the screening was at the AMC Times Square, and so I got there so early. The movie was 10:30. I got it to the city at 9. So I'm just walking around enjoying life in the city, right? I get there right at 10, like right around 10 to 10. There's no table out there for people checking in. I'm like, uh-oh. And I was like, let me check the email. And luckily enough, the theater that it was in was on like 34th, and it was like, a 7-minute walk. So it was fine. I made it there right on 10 anyway, but it was.
Did you have crap seats though?
No, 10 o'clock. It was 10 in the morning. They had another screening last night also, but I chose to do the one in the morning because I wanted to get the reaction out. I wanted to make sure I could still get back in time to do some stuff. I didn't want to get home too late. And it was the right choice. And it's so funny. You just get the same, you just know this. It's so boring. Like the conversations that you just know you're going to get from there's some people like either, oh, this is the guy who hates everything. Oh, he finally likes something. So that, and then there's the Marvel shill. It's like, it's just, it's so boring. It's like, okay, well, go back, go to the meaning. Do I hate everything now? Or do I like things all the time? It's like, you can't just,
I get the same thing.
It's just, what's the consensus? Do I hate everything now? Or do I like everything, or it's in the middle? Like what, come on. And then the other thing, the stupid thing, I was standing there, the lighting, and everybody's a comedian. It's like, because the lighting, like, why you have half a mustache? Oh, I'm like, that's the comments. Cut it out. There was the way that I was looking at the lighting was making it look like I had half my face had facial hair and the other half didn't. That's all. Every other comment, I'm like, that's the internet. That's the career you signed up for.
Yeah, it's annoying.
But you also got to pick better lighting. It's on me. Anyway, Finstock loved it. He didn't see it. No way Finstock saw this. That's what someone said.
I saw Jay Washington afterwards. He liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There was, everybody, I didn't hear anybody other than the couple men who were saying that they hated the ending.
Do I know that?
I've never seen them before.
Okay. Interesting. I'm so curious. That was the thing I was planning, because at the time that I was going to look into going to LA, it was right around the time where Superman was coming out. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just try to catch a screening that week. But that is, Luke said it in the comments, by the way, too, that he's right. Fantastic Four if Superman is really good, that could hurt Fantastic Four also. Mm-hmm. Like people will be like, I don't want to see more Marvel movies. I heard Superman's good. I'm gonna go check that out instead. Unless it's just subpar, then that could actually help. So,
I don't know that Fantastic Four is going to do gangbusters. I just think that it's going to do better than Thunderbolts. That's the conversation we were talking about. Yeah.
It has to be really great in order to do gangbusters. I'm just saying, from where it's targeted right now and how important it is leading into the Avengers Doomsday. That's another reason why. So, and I don't want to say anything else, but like if people who are really locked into Marvel want to see what's happening next and the lead up to Avengers, they're going to have to see this one. This is the most, Fantastic Four is going to be the most important thing. Like the way we just talked about with Black Widow being important to see this. Fantastic Four, I think, is going to be crucial to see Doomsday.
You have to assume.
You would assume.
Yeah, you have to assume.
Especially because we know that they have a role in Doomsday because of the chairs. So if you don't see that movie, and that's the first time you're seeing them, it's going to kind of take away that emotional attachment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. You and I are totally aligned, Kristian.
Yeah.
Yet again, shilling and hating and shilling and hating.
I know. I can't tell what I am anymore.
It's Kristian. It's me every day. She's what the hell? Eat a sandwich. You're too skinny. You've gotten fat. Are you pregnant?
Right.
You hate absolutely everything. You're so negative. Have you ever said a bad word about any movie in your life? Right. You're such a shill. It's like every single comment about me. You show absolutely no emotion. You never cry. all you do is show too much emotion. It's
Right,
like
right.
I can't. There's no
And
winning.
the flip side of that is there's a lot of great people that were in the comments too. There were some really good people. Thank you for, being honest. Thank you for being, out here to see the thing. I really enjoyed the reaction, asking questions. Are there certain things like I love that shit. Like that's and
Uh,
never thinking
and
somebody
it's the vast majority, Kristian.
vast majority.
Because
That's
if you are a normal human, which I have to assume most people are,
yeah.
if you have just normalness to you, then you know that it's not legitimate to sit in your home behind your keyboard with your fake ass avatar and be like, "Meh, meh, meh, meh." Like you are not only are you a troll, but you're a tool. You're
Yeah,
a tool
that's what
bag.
I'm saying, but it's such a small percentage. The majority, I mean, even the live chat today is great. The people have
Yes.
been amazing,
And the live
supportive.
chat's been awesome today.
Yeah,
Usually they are.
yeah, super supportive. And so, anyway, I'm so curious. Speaking of the live chat, speaking of everybody who's watching, thoughts on Thunderbolts. Let me ask you guys in the chat, and for those people who are watching not only on the replay but on the Clips channel, what do you think about Thunderbolts now? Were you gonna see it in the theater? Has that opinion changed? Are you gonna, maybe you're like, okay, wait, I wasn't gonna see this in the theater, and then I saw people talking about it. The score is pretty good. I was waiting for that, so I probably will go see it now. Or are you like, you know what? Fantastic Four is the one I'm gonna check out. I can wait for Thunderbolts to hit streaming. Maybe watch that before I see Fantastic Four because that's probably when it's going to be out, just around like July, around that time. So should I go do that? Where do you land on it? I'm so curious. Put your comments in there. Let me know.